Hello, hello. Give me 1 second to get set up here.
Howdy, no rush.
All right. Zoom. All right, share Firefox. There we go. All right. So, yep, let's please sign in August 4th. Okay. I'll just copy this actually. And then got the agenda here. All right, so I think the major thing is there's quite a bit of PRs, which we do appreciate from you to DC. So let's kind of go through them because I left a comment here on the Cedrus one just because I think there's a lot of value here. I only think that some part of it, or only parts of it actually pertain to the specification, and the other one is like more about implementation, like with orchestration. But I wanted to first get Andrea if he had the same reservations, and if he doesn't, then we can go ahead and just review the whole thing. But I just wanted to kind of call that out.
Yeah, and just FYI, I am submitting the conduit as a separate project, and then in that I've said that this should go in there, not in the CDF, because that was my reservation about putting it in here because it
Oh, okay, okay.
uses CD events. It is not descriptive to CD events, and then it expects the spec to be open, like absolutely open, where people can do anything they want. Long term, it's like there are no fields that you have to have specifically. And then, of course, conduit says, hey, if you want to use the conduit process, these are the fields that you have to have. And it's completely separate from CD events because CD events would be the open spec where people can say, hey, I want to build my own thing in my own systems. And I want to use your spec to do that. But then if you're doing something specific like Cedrus and Conduit, or even like the conformist stuff, it's just be separate of that as a different project so people can pick and choose the more restricted ways to do things.
Yeah, so there was two different points there, and I think one is towards the specification, and the other one's more about philosophy and governance. The philosophy and governance one, yeah, we can definitely keep that on the Slack thread that you created, because we're not trying to, have that discussion bloom again. But yeah, I definitely agree that having it in Conduit makes a lot of sense. Do we have an ETA for that, or should I guess my intention
I'm
is
literally
okay.
doing it today. So I'm editing the document now, and then I'm going to submit it as a proposal to the COC.
Okay, great, great, great. And then what do you want us to do with the PR then? Do you want us to review everything, or do you want us to kind of review just the sections that are relevant for
Well,
CD events, or what, like
that
what?
is literally, I submitted it up to CD events. You put in your thing, and then I said, oh, I'll just do it as a project. So it was actually in response to that.
Okay.
And like I said, I was already feeling, that's why I kept asking so many questions about where it would go,
Yeah, yeah.
because it is not CD events. It's something that uses CD events. And to put it into CD events when it actually uses CD events implies that they're going to stay lockstep.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, like if the project takes a pivot and it can't support it anymore, like that's not, it would have to be locked out and then,
Yeah,
go its
yeah,
own
makes
way,
sense.
right?
Okay. Okay, yeah, that
So, I mean, you
definitely
could just
helps.
ignore it if you want to.
No, no, I don't want to ignore it because like I said, there's very, very valuable parts in here that I think are really good that I actually want in CD events. It's just that, like I said, I just don't know like where you're drawing the line. I don't want to make that assumption. That's why, yeah.
So, so what parts do you want in CD events? Because
Oh,
I don't
I'll show
understand that
you.
at all.
Okay, yeah, there's a really good part that I really like, which is just the intent and the expressions. I think those make, oh yeah, like those I think make a lot of sense. Where is it? That's his expression item list. Where is here? Okay. Where is it? Problem statement, grammar, terminology, not that. Citrus expressions. Yeah, so I think this is fine, right? Like I think just the schema specification to describe the intent of something is very useful in CD events. I think that's a really good concept that CD events lacks. And so the things that I was talking about that I would separate out. And like I said, this is just all what I would do. You don't have to do this, but this is what
Yeah,
I would
so
do.
no, that's not how this would be done. It
Okay.
would be, it's wholesale. It all comes together. The
Okay.
workflow YAML and the expressions are a part of the same system. And they are aware of each other in a sense. Well, I should say the workflow YAMLs are aware of the expressions. And it grouping, like we figured this out last year, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
you and
yeah,
I
yeah.
sat in a room and figured this out. This is literally the same thing. So I mean, anybody could do something like this. This is just uniform to go with the tool itself. And it's really, really specific about aligning with how the tool works. And so pulling that out without the things that make it work. I mean, people are more than welcome to use it like as is, dude. I know, that's not what I'm not precluding folks from using it. I'm just saying that I would not tie this portion of it to CD events and split that out because I would want to move the whole thing wholesale left and right with the conduit project.
Okay, okay, and that's completely fine too. But like I said, like that, I think this part could actually have a lot of value in CD events. But yeah, if that's what you want to do and what you're planning on do, that's completely fine too.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't keep people from using it, or I mean, it's just a spec. Like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
use the links proposal however you want.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, and then so I do like the discussions that are going on here. Um, So so looking at I took a good look at this specification and I think I'm actually pretty good with it. Like so I don't really have any issues with it. Um but I just want to make sure that I didn't think he followed up with any questions, right?
Oh, I
So
haven't even had a chance to go back and read those yet. So
okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he has any questions.
okay.
Oh yeah, so there was one thing that we could just clarify a little bit because
Hmm.
this user took, like to me, I read it as an example, but he read it as a constraint. So I think just adding like a for example or something like that to kind of like help, help
Okay.
because he said he's not a native English speaker, maybe, just adding something to kind of help with that. But that was
Hmm.
like the only comment that I had. But other than that, I think this is a really good addition to CD events.
Yeah. So, and again, this is the kind of thing where none of it's mandatory. And
Yeah.
because none of it's mandatory, I think you're exactly right. Like he saw it as something that you had to do, where it's an it's a drop into an open specification. So if you need a queued event, it's there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not so much to say that you have to have a queued event.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I like that. So I think we're aligned there. So I haven't had a chance to look at the change window one. So if you want to give a little bit of context and what this is doing, and then I can go and do
Yeah, it kind of partners with the schedule so that you're saying what you are scheduling. And so this is the time frame that's being scheduled. The change window is a concept that, if you have something like, and I don't want to be like super specific, but if you had something where you were doing something that causes like, I don't know, a freeze, and you're like, the freeze window is from this place to this place. That's what the change window describes. That statement that the freeze window is going to be put there. And
I
so
see.
when you create the change window, it shows up, or if the change window has been modified or torn down or something like that, or if it's breached, right? So that you can say, oh, this thing is going into the change window at a particular time that's not supposed to. Was it approved right? It just gives you the audit trail. And so a lot of this is the other side of the coin, because what I mean by the other side of the coin is that the way that Conduit works is it's just basically preparing everything for audit, and it treats everything as something that's going to be auditable long term. And so the change window is closing that audit loop.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is so there's one thing that's in here that's this restrictive. I didn't see it in this list here.
Wait, is one of the definitions is restrictive?
Well, it says, yeah, an earlier draft enumerated this. Has that changed? Maybe it's changed. Let me see. I'm like trying to read this right. So actually,
Yeah,
let me do this. Let me read the whole thing off because I don't want to like ask you a question when it's like actually there.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
So
Yeah, because
but I do like this. I think this is
okay.
a really good thing that is absolutely missing. So along with so
Yeah, I
once I
think
do
that
the
the
read.
restrictive that you might be talking about is the one that says that the window itself is restrictive. It's like
Oh, here it is.
the
Yeah. Okay.
people
It's
who are
already there.
defined it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And so it's like it's that point that I was making. Like you can have a change window, but you're going to let people through, and that's
Yeah.
what you want to
Yeah.
audit, right? And so you need the object to audit against. Like you intended to put it here, and
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
the only piece of the mechanic that was missing from an eventing thing, is to say that the resource. It's like the thing that you brought up with the artifacts. Like you could say that an artifact was created, but then that's an actual thing that you want to track as a um, as something that the event has impacted
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
event. And so it's the same way, right?
It's the same concept. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think this makes total sense. Actually, so I am okay. So I'm going to do a rope. So here's probably what's going to happen. I will approve probably today. I'll approve these two. I haven't had a chance to look at the other one because I'm certain that these, like this is nothing, that we're unfamiliar with. So if I do have comments, they're probably going to be minor things
Yeah.
like
And they're always like tool specific. Like this is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how does a tool work and what is the tool doing like that we can say, oh, that's the spot where that tool can emit this event. And then it's, because it's open. So you say, okay, stick an event there. And if somebody needs it, they can use it for whatever system they want to make. And then we aren't saying, hey, you have to use any fields, but these are the fields that are available where you can put the information. And we are literally trying not to dictate what people have to do in those slots, just kind of suggest this is the type of information that you can put in them.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, that's philosophy. So I want to stay
Mhm.
away from that. Like I said, we can definitely have a Slack thread on that, but that makes total sense that that's your stance. But when I'm looking at the specification, I'm just looking at the content and the facts that they
Right. And
produce.
that doesn't change that the reason why it's like that is like that. That's all I was explaining is why we do that.
Okay, all right, yeah, and that's totally fine. So yeah, for the reconciliation one. This one, so I did take a little bit of time reviewing it, but
Mhm.
it did. So I was trying to like map it to the tool and use like data ops as an example, but because
Mhm.
I'm not really in this space, so I really don't know how the flow would look. So, maybe you can give me a little bit of an example of like how that would work because like I
Oh,
said,
yeah, it
yeah,
literally came from, well, I go to the data ops meetings,
yeah, yeah.
and so it came from the data ops group. So yeah, there is a blog that's on our website. I will send that to you, like I can DM it to you when I find it.
Okay, awesome.
And someone said to me, hey, if we were going to do this at CD events, how would that work? And I said, oh, no problem. I'll figure it out and just do the thing for it. So yeah. But yeah, it is absolutely data ops and it is from an actual process that I think Harness published and like how the steps work and blah, blah, blah. So yeah,
Oh, okay, so
it's
it's actually
available.
like a defined thing. Okay, because
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
I said,
This isn't
I
something exactly.
Okay, I have, yeah, like I said, I'm not in this. So yeah, any information, yeah, would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, if this is a very common pattern, yeah, I don't see any issues like why we can so my whole point here is that all three events look good. And
Mhm.
I just need to read up a little bit on like what this is, and it'll help me at least like be able to to something that's something similar that I've used before to kind of like make the analogy to kind of help me reason about it. But yeah, I mean like for the most part, yeah, all these events look really good. So one thing we can do is so I'm gonna ping. Let me see here. I am gonna ping. Um, his name's really long. That starts with a B. I'm gonna ping Balik from UA. I'm gonna send him a message to say, I don't have any issues with that. Do you have any last comments before merging? And if he doesn't get back to us by the end of the week, are you okay with that duration to just merge it at
Yeah,
that?
yeah, these are not urgent. This was literally, I was doing the other ones. It was on the list. Just put it in there.
Okay, cool, cool,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, I like that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And again, thank you for the contributions to DC. Always, it's always great to see CD events moving forward. Okay, cool. So that makes a lot of sense. And then for the conduit, so that is going to be in the CDF and it's going to use CD events. I guess my question there is, uh, because you said that you don't want to put the partial, you don't want to have a partial separation from the Cedrus PR, right? Do you still want us to review it though when it goes to conduit, or what are you
I
thinking
I
there?
don't know how that process. That's where I don't know how that would work. I'm going to submit the project to the TOC because that separation is clearly would help.
Okay.
And then say, hey, I've already submitted this PR, but it sounds like, and put that in there, and then the TOC can decide. Is how I was handling that. That way,
Okay.
everybody can be involved. It's out in the open. It's out in front of everyone. But then it's also a project like CDEvents that was born here, and not, there's some things in the setup about the project being pre-established or blah, 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 that you need to bring it in if it were an outside effort. But because this is an inside effort, it falls in that same line. So that's the last bit I'm just tweaking for the proposal. And it's really up to the TOC, which doesn't meet again, I think, until September.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool, cool. Then I'll just kind of keep a lookout then,
Okay. Yeah. And
and
I would
see.
just ignore it. I mean, just ignore it. I mean,
Yeah, 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 no, I
yeah.
meant just keep a lookout of like whether or not you want us, or the TSC want us to like actually do a review or whatever that process may
Exactly.
be.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, cool, cool. That definitely helps.
So the real question though, like, so that was for 253 that describes, where the incident 253,
Oh,
I'm sorry, the GitHub issue 253 that describes the system for interoperability, right? There's also 250. And so 250 is how do we open up TD events completely so that people can create their own events and that they don't have to pull from our stuff at all. They can just make their own events on the fly. Um, and so this is the other one that we're about to hand the solution for because it's the other part of the tool. It's completely open and yeah, you can use whatever events you want.
yeah, yeah. No, so I think so. Yeah, because there's. I imagine if we need to do that, we got to figure out how the registry would work. Because
Which registry?
like it would, well, namespace, like a namespace registry of some
There is no
sort.
namespace registry. There's no need for one because it's like Java at that point, right? You're making it up. It's in your own space. You don't have to give that information back to us. It is, you may make your own events and go on about your business and never tell the CDF about your event if you don't want to. And then if you have
Oh,
an event that you want to bring to us, then you can bring it up and we'll make it a community event. But that's what I mean. Like that's why I was like originally when you brought the conformance and you were talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, but we're about to open the whole thing up. And so there's no way to know what other people are doing inside of a space where they can do whatever they want.
right. Okay, yeah, let me think about that a little bit because it makes me wonder if, because my worry there is like if GitHub made it Git and then like had a namespace for Git and then GitLab had it for Git and then people started using the
What
tools.
did I don't understand what would that have to do with anything?
Oh, no, no, I'm just saying like the namespace, right? So like if they send an event that is like a Git-based event that is like this namespace and it doesn't map to the other Git event that is represented by GitLab, then that would be a problem.
No, actually it wouldn't. That's why you would do that. It's because you want to separate it.
No, I'm saying that the namespace name is Git.
Right, I know. And so we can say that, you have to have the dot, it has to be your registered domain to use it. That's how you deal with that problem, right? You
Yeah,
just,
that's registry. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
but that's an already registered domain name that's registered with the the internet, not necessarily with us.
Oh, so you're saying the actual host name here, basically,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
okay. So do we call that out anywhere? I don't think I saw that actually.
That's not the proposal. That's the incident that says that's the issue that describes this is what the solution might look like. Hey, this is the problem we're trying to solve. But in the proposal, yes, it does call that out.
Okay, okay, great, great, great. Yeah, yeah, and mind you, like this is, CDEvents namespace proposal. That's why, I thought that's what I was looking at. So that's why there was a little bit of confusion there.
Okay,
But if this is not meant to be the proposal, then I think we should clear that up here,
okay.
and maybe rename the issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, okay,
You want to
cool, cool,
rename it?
cool.
Yeah, definitely rename it.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and just make this a concept. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Um, cool. Okay, that definitely helps then. Okay, cool. Yeah, when when are you thinking that well, first I should ask, is this something that you're actively working on?
Yes, we are actively working on that. That's the last piece. So I probably will not push that until the tool is finished, because that's the last piece of connecting the tool and making everything work. So it will definitely be like in the next couple of weeks, but I'm not going to commit to like this week or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Cool. 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 That definitely helps then, because I'm pretty swamped. So that at least give me a little bit of buffer window. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'll look out for that PR in the next couple of weeks, and kind of see, where that fits and how we can kind of think about that. And see how that fits into the CD event space. Because I see that there's a lot of comments here, but it's been a while, so let me read through this as well. Well, he also commented on it. Interesting. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I think this is a good thing to kind of discuss. So I guess this is a good thing maybe that we should bring up with Andrea, when there's more people here to kind of like talk about as well. Because one thing I don't want to do is like, have you spend all this effort on a proposal without, because it sounds like there was like really no agreement that I could see on any. But,
It's an issue. So yeah, the actual people are bringing up their concerns, and then whatever you do has to address the concerns. It's the same way in the other one. People brought up their concerns and like, how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to deal with that? And the proposal says, hey, this is how we've solved those problems. That's why there's an issue and then a proposal.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah. So this was called proposal originally. So I'm assuming
Right.
that they also got confused by this. So yeah. So I agree. If it wasn't called proposal, then I agree with your logic.
Right,
It
because it
wasn't.
is proposed. I did propose that the solution would be something WSDL inspired. This does propose how the solution might work. It does not solve all of the problems and dot all the I's. It was so that people can express their concerns for a system like this, so we would understand what needed to be addressed in the actual final RFC.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's fine if that was your original intent. I'm saying that there was probably confusion on all of our parts as the readers because of the initial name. So I'm saying that if we
So,
have
well, how are you? Never mind. Never mind.
no,
I'll just
no,
leave
no,
it
no.
alone.
So what I'm getting at is like if there's some concerns here, as long as the
Right, but you haven't
proposal.
read them yet, and you were saying that they're probably a thing. And so I get what you're saying. Conditionally, I don't know if they were confused because I don't remember what everyone said. So I'm just not the type of person that would jump to a conclusion that says that these people are confused unless I read it and evaluated from that they were confused. That's all.
Well, I was confused.
Yeah, no, and
So
that's fine. Yeah, exactly. That's the difference, right?
no, 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 no. Well, like I think we could say if this was called proposal, right? Like that's pretty clear on what this is supposed to be. So, but regardless, right? I mean, it's even
Yeah.
up here, right? So I have to change this. Regardless of what this is, because words are important, right? Whole semantic thing. But regardless of what this is, let's make sure that we do address the comments here is what I was trying to get at, and I'm saying that and I understand that you're saying that this wasn't the proposal, but I'm saying that there's a good chance because it was called proposal that the
Right. And
readers.
it does propose an idea, Ben. So it was a proposal. It's just not the final solution. It says, hey, if we want to do a thing, I'm proposing we look at the problem this way. So it literally was a proposal. I knew what I was naming it when I named it. But I'm saying that this is the RFC. I opened an issue saying, hey, there's something that we should address.
But
Here's
you
a
literally
system that
said
works it.
before this conversation that it wasn't the proposal. That
It wasn't the
literally,
final proposal. No, it's just a proposal, as in there's a scope of how a word is
and
used.
look at this.
Yes, but it's not the final proposal. It lets people bring up their issues so that the final proposal can include it in it. There are several ways
Okay,
to do
so
something. So,
regardless,
yeah,
they don't
regardless.
know whether or not this is the final. How would you know that they knew it was? I thought it was the final one. So
Well, see, the
we
final
just
one
went
would be a
by
PR. The
assumptions.
final one would be
We
in
just
a
went by
PR. Wouldn't it be in a
assumptions.
PR,
We
Ben?
just
Wouldn't
went
we
by
like push it
assumptions.
in a
We just
PR,
went by
Ben? Wouldn't
assumptions.
we?
We just went by assumptions.
Assumption.
We
And
just
you
went
know,
by
that's what I'm saying. It's an
assumptions. We just went
assumption.
by assumptions. We just went by assumptions, right? That you just said that if I jump to conclusions, then we have to mirror that with your speaking points as well. So,
What are you talking about?
So, oh, I don't know, but because it's your point that you made. So, so the point that you made was that we can't assume, right, what the people are thinking. And I was,
No, I said I don't do that. I didn't say we.
but you
I
just
just
did
said
it.
we.
You just did it.
Anyway,
So you just did it, but regardless of what it is, we need to focus on the content here, right? So the content
yes,
is that there are concerns here, right? So when you do bring
yes,
up the final proposal, right? So we'll just have that in the PR that the concerns that are here, we just need to make sure are reflected there. That was all that I was trying to say was my point, right? So
yes.
okay, so great. So I'm glad we're aligned there. So let's go. So you said that there was another PR, which is this one, right? Is that part of that one, or is this something
No,
different?
that PR is the RFC
Sorry, issue.
for that. Yeah, the issue is there. The RFC is the Cedrus expression RFC is in response to that issue. It
Gotcha,
resolves
gotcha.
that issue.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
if it's accepted, it would resolve that issue. And it's
Got
the
it, got
same
it.
thing. Like it's 250. It was like, hey, this is how I think this problem could be solved if we wanted to address it. Then people
Mhm.
say, hey, these are my concerns about what you're saying, and then we address that in the PR with the RFC.
Okay, yeah, yeah, and that totally works. Okay, cool. So were we going to then? So if the Cedrus expression moves, are we going to close that issue? Is that what we're getting at, or were you
Yep.
suggesting something else? Okay,
Nope.
perfect.
Nope. That's what it's for. They're to close the issues.
Okay, good, good, good. And just so it sounds like you're talking about both issues, 253 and 250, right?
Yeah, but that's a yes. 253 is the Cedric expressions, and then the namespacing stuff will be for 250.
Okay, are contingent on the Cedrus.
No, they're separate. They're still separate. Issue
Oh,
253 is the Cedric expressions. Issue 250 is the namespacing.
is Cedrus expressions, and then this one is spacing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. All right. So let me make sure I get this right. So 253 is contingent on Cedrus expression, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great, 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 great. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so da da da. And then if we go back here, I think this one, yeah, there's a PR for this. I should, okay, let me take a look at this PR. Um, and then if you are also interested in that PR, it'd be good to get multiple eyes on it. Governance PR or security PR. Um,
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I didn't understand what they were getting at.
yeah, yeah, I was having a little bit of struggle with myself, but either way, I'll definitely take a look. And if you have the same confusion as me, maybe we should call that out because I was a little confused because I didn't expect to see code in here. I ended up finding code, which confused me even more. But yeah, yeah, let's go ahead and post
Yeah.
on there what their goal and intention is because I feel like
Uh, And I thought you in this conversation had addressed what they were saying by saying something about the envelope that was coming in cloud events. So I thought that was going to resolve the whole thing when you brought up the
yeah,
cloud event thing. Um, and because that's what I thought this was about, was solving that same problem that you've already solved.
yeah, yeah.
So if it isn't, I'm because it's not clear like what tool is supposed to emit this and when it's supposed to emit it and like how that fits into the space. And it definitely sounded like
Can
something
you
that
go
was
get it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had the same reservation. So yeah, what I will do is I'll try to read through the PR if you've already seen it to DC because I have a feeling that we're on the same page here. And then we could talk to Markovian of like what he's trying to accomplish with the PR, but it wasn't necessarily really clear to me. And it's a lot bigger scope than I initially had thought too.
yeah,
Um,
and it sounds like a cloud event scope, right?
yeah,
That was
yeah,
the
it's
other
like
thing.
yeah, it's like way larger than. Yeah, it's way bigger. So yeah, okay. So I'll go ahead and leave my comments as well if you want to add yours because but it might be just
Sure,
duplicated.
I
But
will
yeah,
support. No, it's fine because if your comments are basically going to say, "Hey, one, this sounds like a cloud event thing, not a CD events thing." CD events is like the tool admits a thing, and this is where it is. But the actual provenance of of that space itself, we're inheriting from cloud events,
yeah.
and to take that discussion there, yeah, I will definitely support you in that.
Okay, cool. All right, that definitely helps then. Okay, so let's do this then. So what I will do is I'll add your three PRs. I'll put I approve on it. I'll ping uh Balik from UA. I'll ping him to see if he has any final questions, and if he says no, we'll merge it right then and there. But if he
Okay.
has some reservations, we'll just clear that up, and then we can move forward. But I don't
Okay.
want to keep these PRs open if the concern is mostly around implementation. So if we start to go down that road, I'll definitely make sure that we can separate that out and then address the other users' concerns, like maybe in a Slack thread or somewhere
Okay.
else. All right, sound good?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. Did you?
Nope. We just gotta get, yeah, I'm just trying to get ready for Prague. So yeah.
Okay, awesome,
All right.
awesome. Well, good luck to DC. And yeah, I'll
All right.
be. Are you gonna demo it at all when it's like good to go?
Yeah, we have some vendor partners, so they'll get it first.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's the language portion of it is just crazy, dude. It's just
Yeah.
I yeah, it's like you think of something that you want the system to do, and your code looks exactly like your thoughts.
Yeah. No, that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. If we don't have anything, I'll be happy to look at those PRs, address it,
Okay.
and then or approve it, and then yeah, I'll see you next week then. All right.
All right. All right. So.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Bye.